Hello, everybody. I used to mention that we are living in a time of great historical change. Yeah? And, this great historical change is characterized by actually the relationship between the two big powers, US and China. And in this coronavirus time, the change has actually accelerated. And basically, the direction of change is the same, but it's just accelerating. So what change do I mean, maybe you think? You have to understand that in the past, say, 30 years or so, or I would say since 1979, the Chinese Communist Party changed their tactic, show that they're very friendly face to the Western world, to America in particular, and talk all day long about cooperation, and then spreading such a theory through many sinologists and other soft power people, whispering in the ears of many Western leaders, when China becomes rich, then it will automatically, slowly move to the direction of democracy and freedom and more human rights, and all that has not been true. But they have made a lot of money because of the trade with the West. But now the big change came, actually, I would say, about a couple of years ago, three and a half years ago, namely when U.S. changed its president. Things start to change. The basic change is, Donald Trump make it very openly that, hey, I don't blame China. He always say like that. It's my predecessor who were, in a way, so stupid to let the Chinese to cheat them and to deceive them. So basically, his clear word is, hey, I'm not going to buy it anymore. All this nice story, I don't believe it. I'm going to change it. So now, what recently happened that confirmed these changes? WHO, World Health Organization. Everybody knows nowadays in Corona time. Everybody, hear it very frequently. But maybe not everybody know that. Although China has stepped up their financing to WHO, U.S. remains still the biggest financer of WHO. WHO do not make any money themselves, so they all live on financing or donation, or what you call it, from member states of the United Nations. So United States of America has been the biggest financer. They pay $1 billion for WHO. Now, recently, Donald Trump said he's going to hold the funding. This is a big stuff, He's hold the funding. And actually, there are suggestions in America that, if WHO doesn't improve itself, then we skip WHO and let the G7 or G20 countries to form a new health organization. And the reason that they don't want to finance, not to fund WHO anymore, is because, as Japanese Prime Minister said it very directly, WHO has become CHO, instead of World Health Organization, it's a Chinese health organization. So that mark a clear sign of, what I call it, great historical change. And if you look at the total relationship between US and China, it confirmed these accelerating changes. Since coronavirus time, Donald Trump daily offer a press conference. And in the last press conference, I think it was yesterday, it was a Chinese journalist, lady journalist, actually asked President Trump for comment about, that Chinese enterprises like Jack Ma, Alibaba, want to help US and Europe with different medical material, and also Chinese government is calling for cooperation, and so what is his comment? And interesting is, Donald Trump did not comment on that answer directly. Instead, he was just saying, I expect that China will fulfill the agreement, the trade agreement they signed for a couple of months ago. Yeah? That says also a lot. No answer is also an answer. And by the way, we should understand that I think it was 15th of January this year, a Chinese delegation came to Washington to sign the trading agreement, which is not in favor to China. Yeah? China has to spend a lot of money to fulfill that agreement. Interesting is that has also angered quite a few American people and leaders. Namely, they found out now, at that time, they were aware about coronavirus. Yeah? And they even sent a delegation to Washington, sitting next together to Donald Trump to sign an agreement. They did not send Xi Jinping. Huh? They sent Liu He. This is also very interesting. Although they were aware of this virus being very, very transmittable from human to human. Yeah? Now, not only these journalists ask about cooperation. Actually, the Chinese ambassador in America recently also talked about, China is open for cooperation. This is a pandemic. It's a common challenge we have in the whole world, and China and U.S. should work together to fight this pandemic. All nice words. But the problem is how much people believe in those nice words. As I very frequently quote the Chinese philosopher or the Chinese enlightened philosopher Lao Tzu, he said 2,500 years ago, beautiful words are not trustworthy. Trustworthy words are not beautiful. So that's pretty applicable to what the CCP people are saying, beautiful words. But are they trustworthy? So we can check, we can listen to a former Chinese diplomat. I think he's a political attaché of China to Australia, a gentleman called Chen Yonglin. When he was asked to comment about this, that now China is appealing for cooperation, he just immediately answered bluntly, well, this is a typical, this is a consequent policy of the Chinese Communist Party. And that policy was set by Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping say, when it is time to battle, we battle. But when it is good for our goal to show that we are weak, then we show we are weak. And so on. Deng Xiaoping has a famous strategy called hide our strength and wait for our time. Yeah? And this is what Chinese Communist Party has been doing from 1979 until 2013, when Xi Jinping thought, now we have managed successfully to deceive the whole world. Yeah? So they help us, they invest in China, they let us take technology, so now we are rich, now we are so strong, now we don't need to hide our strength anymore. Now we want to claim our so-called justified position in the world. So then they don't talk anymore at that time about being a developing country and need help and all this, but instead, they launched a project, Making China 2025, making China a world leader in technology. Then they talk about One Belt, One Road to build an infrastructure project to prepare for their control of the world. So as Chen Yonglin said, this is typical. They have been always doing like this with the so-called two hands policy. Deng Xiaoping and all the communist leaders, they always say two hands policy, one hard, one soft, one nice, one nasty, one black, one white, all the time. So how many people will believe in what they say? Now, just give you an example how they cheat. Recently, the propaganda, the Chinese propaganda inside China particularly, was telling the Chinese people, we are doing a much better job in fighting the coronavirus, but in the West, all these democratic countries, they have a huge problem. It's a sign that we are superior. And not only that, they even cheat people that, look, we have so little infected people, we have so little death cases, so now we are helping them. We are the big hero in the world. We are the great helper, helping the whole world. You know what happened? I was informed recently, I read recently, the biggest newspaper in Sweden called Daily News, in Swedish Dagens Nyheter, the biggest newspaper. So they have made an investigation of a story. I just tell you briefly that story. I think it was in March, in mid-March, the Czech police in the Czech Republic, they confiscated a huge number, 200,000 face masks in a storeroom in Czech Republic, in a small town near Germany, actually. And what happened is China protested, these are the face mask donation for Italy. How can you just confiscate it? And the Italian government also thought that it was true. So they also said to Czech Republic that, these are meant for us. You cannot confiscate it. And the Czech police say, okay, let's make an investigation before we decide. So the result of the investigation is following. This face mask in the Czech storeroom was ordered by a Chinese living in Czech Republic. I think his name is Zhou Mingjian. It's the Pinyin translation. And he ordered all these face masks from China, and they will then be further shipped to Italy, but not to Italian, but to Chinese living in Italy. Okay? So, and it is not donation. It's, he buy it, he pay the Chinese company, and he will charge also the Chinese in Italy for those masks. And I mean, it is typical. Yeah? It was absolutely not donation, and then all the Chinese in China, from the propaganda, they learned that this is all donated. And actually, what happened is even Italian authority found out that, and also Czech Republic. This guy, this businessman, Chinese businessman in Czech Republic, he ordered huge amount of face masks in mid-January, or 25th of January, I think, Huge amount. He basically bought up whatever available in Czech Republic. You know why? Because the Chinese government, through the embassy, through the connection, told many Chinese businessmen to buy up all face masks and similar disinfectant and all this in the world market, because they thought China needed it. But not only because of that. Now they have the monopoly. Now it's all these face masks and disinfectant and so on are all concentrated in China. Now, the relationship between supply and demand decide on the price. So now the huge demand, the world demands of such things are huge, and China has a lot. So they are now selling, but actually people both in Czech Republic and Italy has found out that some of these face masks was donation from Czech Republic, donation from Italy, and now they sell it back. Some of them, they even manage the same mask, same package coming back. They donate free of charge for Chinese, and now Chinese sell it to high price to them, and in the propaganda they say this is donation. So well, you know, lies doesn't work so well in the long run. You know, it's like the story about the little rabbit who cheat the mother by saying, "Oh, a wolf is coming, a wolf is coming," but it was only a lie. Yeah. So at the end, the mother didn't care anymore when the little rabbit shout for the wolf is coming. But unfortunately, last time it was really a wolf coming. So and nobody believed him. So I think it will end up in a similar way for the Chinese Communist Party. Thank you. If you like it, don't forget, subscribe, click like, and share with your friends. Thank you.